Good morning, dear students. I am Dr. Preeti Soni, Assistant Professor Chemistry in Government GNA PG College, Bhatapara. And today also I am presenting before you a lecture that consists of MSc 4th semester chemistry, 4th paper that is environmental and data analysis, 4th unit that is cosmetic, clinical and drug analysis. First part I have taken in our previous video. Now I am here to present before you the second part, that is clinical analysis. In the terms of chemistry, we term the clinical analysis as biochemical analysis. A basic metabolic panel measures sodium, potassium, chloride, bicarbonate, blood urea, nitrogen, that is BUN, magnesium, creatinine, glucose and sometimes calcium. The test that focus on cholesterol levels can determine LDL and HDL cholesterol levels as well as triglyceride levels also. Some tests such as those that measure glucose or a lipid profile require fasting or no food consumption 8 to 12 hours prior to the drawing of the blood sample. The normal ranges of the blood test. The blood test results should always be interpreted using the ranges provided the laboratory that performed the test, and the examples ranges are shown below in the given table. In the first table you can see the sodium, which is denoted as Na. Its low level is 134 and high level 145 and its unit is mmol per liter. The potassium, which denotes as K, its low level is 3.5 and high level is 5.0. Urea low level 2.5 and its high level is 6.4. Creatinine in male, its low level is 62 and high level is 115 and its unit is mu mole per liter. Creatinine in female, its low level is 53 and high level is 97 mu mole per liter. Glucose fasting rate is 3.9 in low levels and its high level is 5.8. This is the table number 1. Now in the table number 2 you can see some of the common abbreviations. When we go to a doctor, when we fall ill or not feeling well, they suggest us some kind of blood or urine test which consist of these abbreviations, and we can't understand what these abbreviations are. So in the second number table I am trying to explain those abbreviations. The first of all, the HDL is high density lipoprotein, that is a level of good cholesterol in the blood. Ratio of HDL that is to LDL is usually more significant than the actual values. The second one is LDL, that is low density lipoprotein, and its levels of bad cholesterol in the blood, that is ratio of HDL that is to LDL is usually more significant than actual values. PV means plasma viscosity. The plasma viscometry is the measurement of the viscosity of blood plasma. The end result is a number given in millipascal second known as PV or plasma viscosity. The next term is CRP, that is C-reactive protein, the level of inflammation with the body. If the immune system is fighting an infection or illness, CRP will be higher. Now next term is CBC. In UK it is also denoted as FBC. FBC means the full blood count, and here in India we know it as complete blood count. Analysis of 15 different blood test readings to provide information about overall health is done for CBC in CBC. The next term is TSH, that is thyroid stimulating hormone. The thyroid regulates the function of metabolism. Low levels can lead to weight loss while high levels lead to weight gain. The PTH is referred to parathyroid hormone which regulates serum calcium. ESR refers to erythrocyte sedimentation rate, indicates the time it takes for red blood cells to move down a tube. This shows sign of inflammation within a body. Now the ENR, it refers to international normalized ratio. This is a blood clotting test. Now the LFT is a liver function test. This test reveals the levels of waste products, enzymes and proteins that are processed by the liver. Then U plus E, that is urea and electrolyte. This test is performed to measure the function of kidney. Now CMP. This CMP indicates comprehensive metabolic panel. This analysis provides an overall picture of the metabolism and chemical balance of the body. Now WBC refers to white blood cell count, the level of white blood cells, and the RBC same as WBC, it is the red blood cell count, the level of red blood cells. HBC refers to hemoglobin, the level of hemoglobin molecules in our body. HCT refers to hematocrit, similar to RBC but in percentage. And PLT is the platelets level in the blood. Now there are some tests for the minerals present in our body like calcium, chloride, carbon dioxide, ferrous, potassium, lithium, magnesium, sodium, phosphorus, urea and glucose. Analyzing these minerals is a task that spans many scientific areas from chemistry and material science to geology and earth science. Many minerals possess unique electromagnetic spectra, specific physiochemical characteristics, and will undergo a reaction under specific chemical conditions, and these traits enable minerals to be distinguished from each other and from other substance in a sample. However, there are many different methods from common wet chemistry techniques used in a lab to various types of analytical equipment. In this article, I will try to give you a brief overview of the many methods that can be used to analyze minerals. The wet chemical method. The wet chemical method, the chemical reagents are added so that the mineral forms a known insoluble complex. This precipitate is then removed, dried, rinsed and weighed to determine the amount of mineral present using the chemical formula of the precipitate. However, this is a technique that can only be used with large amounts of sample and is not suitable for trace analysis measurements. The second method is spectroscopy and spectrometry. There are many spectroscopy techniques that can be used to perform an analysis of minerals. Atomic absorption spectroscopy, which is denoted in short form as AAS, it is one of example, and a solution containing the mineral is reheated to a high temperature so that it becomes atomized and subjected to electromagnetic radiation. A controlled flame linked to a detector is then used to capture the wavelength of light not absorbed by the mineral, which is used to deduce the wavelengths that were absorbed by the mineral. This then enables the type of material and its concentration to be identified. The methods that rely on inductively coupled plasma ICP and mass spectrometry MS methods, including ICP-MS and laser ablation, that is ICP-MS LA, laser ablation, ICP induced coupled plasma and mass spectrometry, that can be used to determine the elemental composition of mineral. ICP-MS causes the atoms in the mineral to be atomized and form a plasma, and then the MS component separates the elements by their mass to charge ratio, which enables each element in the mineral to be identified. The amount of each element is also recorded, and this is used to back out the concentration of the mineral. LAICP-MS differs slightly in that it uses a laser to ablate the mineral before it gets formed into a plasma. Other types of MS that can be used include secondary ion mass spectroscopy, that is SIMS, thermal ionization mass spectro TIMS, and multi-collector mass spectrometry. The next method is atomic emission spectroscopy AES. It is another spectroscopy method that can be used. Rather than measuring the absorption of electromagnetic wavelengths like in AAS, it is a method that measures the emission of wavelengths from a simple mineral sample after its electrons have been excited. The wavelengths emitted are characteristics for each element, which enables the elemental composition to be determined, and the intensity of each emitted wavelength backs out the concentration of each element. ICP AES can also be used and uses the ICP component to turn the mineral sample into a plasma, and the AES component again records the wavelength emitted by each element. Now the next method is Raman and Mossbar spectroscopy. These are the two methods which are beneficial when it comes to mineral analysis. Mossbar spectroscopy offers an efficient way of understanding the valence states within minerals and has become a known method for analyzing the properties of mineral phases and rock crystallization process. On the other hand, Raman spectroscopy offers a way of identifying minerals and mineral phases and can be used to distinguish between different polymorphs, something which is not possible with other techniques. The calorimetric methods can also be employed, where a specific reagent is used to react with the mineral and can be quantified by using a spectrophotometer to measure the absorbance of a solution at a designated wavelength. Now there are certain other methods which are not as widely used but are applicable to certain situations. For example, neutron activation analysis NAA, it can be used to determine the concentration of elements within a mineral but needs to be close to a nuclear reactor to perform the analysis. Therefore, it is not applicable to all scenarios. Ion selective electrodes have some within the food industry for seeing how mineral bind to foodstuff, as the SES are only responsive to free ions and not ones that have completed with other agents. Electron probe microanalysis is a method that relies on emission of X-rays after the electrons in the elements of the mineral have been excited, and the specific emitted wavelengths are used to identify the elemental composition of the mineral, and the intensity is used to determine concentration of each element within the mineral. Additionally, the other methods that can be used to analyze minerals including X-ray diffraction, XRD, X-ray fluorescence, XRF, photon-induced X-ray emission spectroscopy, that is PIXE, photon-induced gamma emission spectroscopy, that is PIGE, infrared spectroscopy IR, ultraviolet visible spectroscopy, that is UV visible, and scanning electron microscopy, that is SEM, but some are used to a lesser degree than others. Now, the blood and urine contains many chemicals or minerals for analysis. First of all, we will see the methods one by one, how they can be tested in blood and urine sample or in a clinical species. First one is ammonia. For ammonia, we will use analytical method. Ammonia can be measured by both indirect and direct method. The use of microdiffusion apparatus is an indirect method which is often use of point of care and dry slide analyzer. Free ammonia is liberated from the sample by alkalization and is allowed to pass through a semi-permeable membrane. The ammonia is measured by the change of color of an ammonium indicator. For example, the Vitro, that is Ortho-Diagnostics Limited, ammonia measurement utilizes bromophenol blue. Bromocresol green can also be used. The change in absorbance is measured at 605 nanometer by reflectance spectroscopy. The second method is the enzymatic method, which is a direct method and is the most commonly used method in the UK. It utilizes the reaction of glutamate dehydrogenase, in which ammonium in the sample reacts with alpha oxoglutarate and reduced nicotinic adenine dinucleotide, that is a phosphate, NADPH, to form glutamate and NADP plus water. Absorbance spectroscopy can then be used to measure the decrease in NADH or NADPH plus NH3 alpha oxoglutarate plus NADPH phosphorus glutamate plus NADP plus H plus. The ammonium electrode is a direct method that uses in NH4 plus selective membrane, which is typically based on a mixture of antibiotics, non-actin and monoactin. Now, the measurement for blood urea nitrogen, that is in short terms termed as BUN. It is a medical test that measures the amount of urea nitrogen found in blood. The liver produces urea in the urea cycle as a waste product of the digestion of protein. Normal human adult blood should contain 6 to 20 milligram DL, that is 2.1 to 7.1 millimole per liter of urea nitrogen. Individual laboratories will have different reference range as the assay used can vary between laboratories. The test is used to detect renal problems. It does not considered as reliable as creatinine or Bunn creatinine ratio blood studies. Bunn is an indication of renal health. The normal range is 2.1 7.1 mmol per liter or 6 to 20 milligram per dl. The main causes of an increase in Bunn are, that is blood urea nitrogen, are high protein diet, decrease in glomerular filtration rate, that is GFR, suggestive of kidney failure, decrease in blood volume, hypovolemia, congestive heart failure, gastrointestinal hemorrhage, fever, rapid cell destruction from infection, athletic activity, excessive muscle breakdown, and increased catabolism. Hypothyroidism can cause both decreased GFR and hypovolemia, but blood urea nitrogen to creatinine ratio has been found to be lowered in hypothyroidism and raised in hyperthyroidism. The main causes of a decrease in BUN are severe liver disease, anabolic state, and syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone. BUN, that is blood urea nitrogen, is milligram per dl in the United States, Mexico, Italy, Austria, and Germany. Elsewhere, the concentration of urea is reported in SI units as mmol per liter, which is generally depending on the lab. Now, there are also certain methods for analysis of proteins and enzymes. A blood test is a laboratory analysis performed on a blood sample that is usually extracted from a vein in the arm using a hypodermic needle or via finger prick. Multiple tests as specific blood components such as glucose test or cholesterol test are often grouped together into one test panel called a blood panel or blood work. Blood tests are often used in healthcare to determine physiological and biochemical states such as disease, mineral content, pharmaceutical drug effectiveness, and organ function. Typical clinical blood panels include a basic metabolic panel or a complete blood count. Blood tests are also used in the drug test to detect drug abuse. Blood tests are the most commonly performed medical test. Now the first enzyme which we will test is alanine aminotransferase, in short form it is denoted as ALT, alanine aminotransferase. Alpha ketoglutarate reacts with L-alanine in the presence of ALT to form alpha L-glutamate plus pyruvate. The pyruvate is used in the indicator reaction for a kinetic determination of the reduced form of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, that is NADH consumption. The International Federation of Clinical Chemistry has now recommended standardized procedure for ALT determination, including optimization of substrate concentration, the use of Trees buffers, pre-incubation of a combined buffer, and serum solution to allow side reactions with NADH to occur, substrate start, alpha ketoglutarate, and optimal pyridoxal phosphate activation. Now the second one is albumin. At the reaction pH, the bromocresone purple BCP in the Rock Diagnostic RD albumin system reagent binds selectively with albumin. This reaction is based on a modification of a method described by Domas. Although BCP is structurally similar to the conventional bromocresol green, its pH color change interval is higher, that is 5.2 to 6.8. Then the color change interval for BCG is 3.8 to 5.4, thus reducing the number of weak electrostatic dye or protein as a result of the increased pH. In addition to the use of sample black eliminates background spectral interferences not completely removed by bichromatic analysis. Now next test is for alkaline phosphatase, in short form we denote it as ALP. In the presence of magnesium ions, para-nitrophenyl phosphate is hydrolyzed by phosphatases to phosphate and para-nitrophenol. The rate of para-nitrophenol liberation is proportional to the ALP activity and can be measured photometrically. Now the next test is for aspartate aminotransferase, that is AST. Alpha ketoglutarate reacts with L-aspartate in the presence of AST to form L-glutamate plus oxaloacetate. The indicator reaction uses the oxaloacetate for a kinetic determination of NADH consumption. The International Federation of Clinical Chemistry IFCC has now recommended standardized procedure for ALT determination, including optimization of substrate concentration, the use of trace buffer, pre-incubation of combined buffer, and serum option to allow side reaction of NADH occur, substrate start, and optimal pyridoxal phosphate activation. Now the next test is for bicarbonate, that is HCO3. The bicarbonate reacts with phosphoenol pyruvate PEP in the presence of PEPC to produce oxaloacetate and phosphate. This reaction occurs in conjunction with the transfer of a hydrogen from NADH to oxaloacetate using MDH. The resultant formation of NAD causes a decrease in absorbance in the UV range, that is 320 to 400 nm. The change in absorbance is directly proportional to the concentration of bicarbonate in the sample being acid. Next test is for BUN, that is blood urea nitrogen. Urea is hydrolyzed by urease to form CO2 and ammonia. The ammonia formed then reacts with alpha ketoglutarate and NADH in the presence of glutamate dehydrogenase GLDH to yield glutamate and NAD+. The decrease in absorbance due to consumption of NADH is measured kinetically. Next test is for calcium. Calcium reacts with orthocresol phthalate complexone in the presence of 8-hydroxyquinoline 5-sulfonic acid to form a purple complex. The intensity of the final reaction color is proportional to the amount of calcium in the specimen. Next test is for cholesterol. All cholesterol esters present in serum or plasma are hydrolyzed quantitatively into free cholesterol and fatty acids by microbial cholesterol esterase. In the presence of oxygen, free cholesterol is oxidized by cholesterol oxidase to cholest-4n31. The H2O2 reacts in the presence of peroxidase POD with phenol and 4-aminophenazone to form an orthoquinone imine dye. The intensity of the color is proportional to the cholesterol concentration and is measured photometrically. Cholesterol is measured enzymatically in serum or plasma in a series of coupled reactions that hydrolyze cholesterol esters and oxidize the 3-OH group of cholesterol. One of the reaction byproduct H2O2 is measured quantitatively in a peroxidase catalyzed reaction that produces a color. The absorbance is measured at 500 nm. The color intensity is proportional to cholesterol concentration. The reaction sequence is as follows: cholesterol ester hydrolase, cholesterol ester plus H2O, that is cholesterol plus fatty acid cholesterol oxidase cholesterol plus O2, which give cholest-4en31 plus H2O2 peroxidase 2H2O2 plus 4-aminophenazone plus phenol 4-p-benzoquinone monoamino CHD. Cholesterol is measured to help assess the patient's risk status and follow the progress of patient's treatment to lower serum cholesterol concentration. Desirable cholesterol levels are considered to be those below 200 mg per dl in adults and below 170 mg dl in children. Now the next test is for creatinine. This method, which uses the Ceph reaction, is based on the work of Popper, Sealing and West. In an alkaline medium, creatinine forms a yellow-orange colored complex with picric acid. The rate of color formation is proportional to the concentration of creatinine present and may be measured photometrically. Now next test is for gamma glutamyl transminase, that is denoted as gamma GT. In this rate method, L-gamma-glutamyl 3-carboxy 4-nitronilide is used as a substrate and glycyl-glycine as a acceptor. The rate at which 5-amino 2-nitrobenzoate is liberated is proportional to gamma GT activity and is measured in an increase in absorbance. Now the next test is for glucose. Hexokinase catalyzes the phosphorylation of glucose by adenosine triphosphate ATP. G6PD is oxidized to 6-phosphogluconate in the presence of NAD by the enzyme glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. No other carbohydrate is oxidized. Now the next test is for iron. Iron Fe3+ is separated from transferrin by means of guanidinium chloride in the weakly acidic pH range and reduced to ferrous Fe2+ with ascorbic acid. Fe2+ then forms a colored complex with ferrozoin. Next test is for lactate dehydrogenase, that is LDH. This enzyme converts lactate and NADH to pyruvate and NADH respectively. The rate at which NADH is formed is determined by the rate of absorbent and directly proportional to the enzyme activity. Next is for phosphorus. The inorganic phosphorus reacts with ammonium molybdate in an acidic solution to form ammonium phosphomolybdate with a formula of NH43PO4 MOO312. The ammonium phosphomolybdate is quantified in the ultraviolet range, that is 340 nanometer, through the use of a sample blanked endpoint method. Now the test for sodium, potassium and chloride. An ion selective electrode ISE makes use of the unique properties of certain membrane materials to develop an electrical potential, that is electromotive force, EMF, for the measurement of ions in solution. The electrode has a selective membrane in contact with both the test solution and an internal filling solution. The internal filling solution contains the test ion at a fixed concentration. Because of the particular nature of the membrane, the test ions will closely associate with the membrane on each side. The membrane EMF is determined by the difference between the ion concentration in the test solution and that in the internal filling solution. The EMF develops according to the Nernst equation for a specific ion solution, and the Nernst equation is E is equal to E0 plus RT oblique NF into N FXCT oblique FXCI, where E is the electrode EMF, E0 is standard EMF, R is constant, T is temperature, N is the charge of ion, F is the Faraday's constant, N is natural logarithm base, E, F is activity coefficient, Ct is ion concentration in test solution, Ci is ion concentration in internal filling solution for sodium, potassium and chloride, which all carry a single charge R, T and N and F are combined into a single value referred to as the slope S. For determination on the Hitachi 917 ISE module, where the sample is diluted 1:31, the ionic strength and therefore the activity coefficient is essentially constant. The concentration of the test ion in the internal filling solution is also constant. These constant may be combined into the EO term. The value of E0 is also specific for the type of reference electrode used. Now the equation 1 can be rewritten to reflect these conditions. E is equal to E by 0 plus S into in Ct. The complete measurement system for a particular ion includes the ISE, a reference electrode and electronic circuits to measure and process the EMF to give the test ion concentration. The direct liquid junction type reference electrode renews the reference electrode solution before and after sample measurement. The electromotive force is then measured to prevent drift. Now the next test is for total bilirubin. Total bilirubin is coupled with diazonium salt DPD, that is 2,5-dichlorophenyldiazonium tetrafluoroborate in a strongly acidic medium pH 1:2. The intensity of the color of the azobilirubin produced is proportional to the total bilirubin concentration and can be measured photometrically. Now, how can the total protein can be measured? In alkaline medium, a colored chelate forms between cupric ions and compounds containing at least 2 CONH2 or CSNH2 or CH2NH2 or similar groups. They are joined directly or through a carbon or nitrogen atom. In protein, the chelate is formed between one cupric ion and about 6 nearby peptide bonds. The intensity of the color is proportional to the total number of the peptide bonds undergoing reaction and thus to the total amount of protein present. This is similar to the biuret reaction. Although compounds undergoing the biuret reaction gives color ranging from pink to purple, the violet color given by the serum albumins and globulins are essentially the same. Peptides of low molecular weight are present in serum by their concentration is too low to cause interference. Now, how the triglycerides are tested in the clinical species. This method uses microbial lipase to promote rapid and complete hydrolysis of triglycerides to glycerol with subsequent oxidation to dihydroxyacetone phosphate and hydrogen peroxide. The peroxide reacts with 4-aminophenazone and 4-chlorophenol in a Trinder reaction to a calorimetric endpoint. Triglycerides are measured enzymatically in serum or plasma using a series of coupled reactions in which triglycerides are hydrolyzed to produce glycerol. Now, glycerol is then oxidized using glycerol oxidase and H2O2, that is hydrogen peroxide. One of the reaction product is measured as described above the cholesterol. Now, the absorbance is measured at 500 nm. The reaction sequence is as follows. Lipase triglyceride plus 3H2O gives out glycerol plus fatty acid glycerokinase glycerol plus ATP gives out glycerol 3-phosphate plus ADP glycerol phosphate oxidase glycerol 3-phosphate plus oxygen gives a dihydroxyacetone phosphate plus H2O2 peroxidized H2O2 plus 4-aminophenazone plus 4-chlorophenol 4-p-benzoquinone monoaminophenazone plus 2H2O plus HCl. This is the reaction for test of triglyceride. Now the next test is for uric acid. Uric acid is oxidized by the specific enzyme uricase to form allantoin and H2O2. The H2O2 reacts with 2,4,6-tribromo-3-hydroxybenzoic acid TBHB and 4-aminophenazone in the presence of peroxidase to form quinone imine dye and hydrogen bromide. The intensity of the red color is proportional to the uric acid concentration. Now the next test is for amylase. An amylase test measures the amount of amylase in your blood or urine. Amylase is an enzyme or special protein that helps you digest food. Most of your amylase is made in the pancreas and salivary glands. A small amount of amylase in your blood and urine is normal, but a larger or smaller amount may mean that you may have a disorder of the pancreas, an infection, alcoholism, or another medical condition. Now the next test is for aspartate aminotransferase. The principle of calorimetric analysis is based on the interaction between an enzyme and substrate to form and estimate calorimetrically a colored light absorbing complex by adding other reagents after stopping the enzyme reaction. Meanwhile, the calibration curves must be handled using measurement by comparison and calculation. The generation amount of product or consumption amount of substrates can be reached. It can also be called endpoint method, 2-point method, sampling method, or fixed time method. In most references, calorimetric analysis also known as fixed time method. Now the next test is for cholinesterase. Serum cholinesterase is a blood test that looks at levels of two substances that help the nervous system work properly. They are called acetylcholinesterase and pseudocholinesterase. Your nerves need these substances to send signals. Acetylcholinesterase is found in nerve tissue and red blood cells. Now the test for lactate. The levels of lactate can be measured in serum, plasma, or whole blood sample. If serum or plasma is used, it should be prepared from the red blood cells as soon as possible. This is because the red blood cells produce lactate after the blood is drawn, causing a falsely elevated measured value in the sample. Now the last test is for lipase. Hyperlipasemia may be described as an excess of the pancreatic enzyme lipase in the blood. When the pancreas is inflamed, increased blood levels of the pancreatic enzymes called amylase and lipase will result. The normal lipase level is 12 to 70 U by L. Normal values may vary from laboratory to laboratory. So, dear friends and viewers, thank you for listening me.